Jordan Peterson, a prominent psychologist and influential figure, delves extensively into the complexities of the Israel-Palestine conflict. He courageously challenges the prevailing left-leaning narrative and meticulously dissects misconceptions surrounding the oppressor-oppressed dichotomy. Engaging in a compelling dialogue with Bill Maher, Peterson offers a profound and incisive analysis, shedding light on the potential ramifications for those misunderstanding this intricate socio-political interplay.
But what happens is that they are then saying that being oppressed is being
know if the Holocaust.
Yeah, well, this is the main issue. I mean, part of the reason that you see all this foolishness on university campuses too is because people have bought this idiot
Meta-Marxism. Jordan Peterson offers a detailed critique of the perceived biased depiction of Marxism, delving into its influence on power dynamics across various social relationships.
Which is that the way to look at every social relationship that people ever have is through the lens of power. And that is, we can put that squarely at the feet of the universities, as far as I'm concerned, is, marriage is a patriarchal institution and business is nothing but oppression. And you have to view every single situation that emerged historically as oppressor versus oppressed. And then
Every situation emerged historically as oppressor versus oppressed. Jordan Peterson challenges the approach of analyzing history solely based on the dynamics of oppressor and oppressed. He argues that this viewpoint oversimplifies complex historical events, advocating for a broader understanding that encompasses multifaceted factors beyond just power struggles.
once you get that, which you can get in about 2 minutes if you sit in a course that teaches that sort of thing, you have a lens to moralize about the whole world through. And then you see the situation is that the leftists have already decided the Palestinians are the victims.
Leftists have already decided the Palestinians are the victims. Jordan Peterson argues that when a particular group is labeled as victims due to their political beliefs, it leads to neglecting the detailed examination of complex geopolitical issues.
And as you pointed out, if you're a victim, then you're morally righteous.
If you're a victim, then you're morally righteous. Jordan Peterson frequently links victimhood to moral justice, regardless of the actions or choices of the group identified as victims.
And even more conveniently, if you stand for the victim, then you're morally righteous, regardless of what you do with your own life. And that's pretty much what university students are taught from the time they enter the university classroom, and that's how they, orient themselves morally. And that's at the hands of the radical left, too, Bill. And one of the things the Democrats also have to pay the price for, I would say, is their absolute refusal to draw a line between the moderate Democrats and the extremists.
Absolute refusal to draw a line between the moderate Democrats and the extremists. The Democratic Party acknowledged its shortcomings in distinguishing between moderate and extremist factions within its ranks, leading to a failure in effectively addressing ideological divides.
They're completely incapable of doing that. Like, I've talked to 40 senators and congressmen in the last 5 years. I asked them all the same question, including RFK. He wouldn't answer either. When does the left go too far?
When does the left go too far? Jordan Peterson utilizes rhetorical questions to emphasize the perceived lack of self-discipline and recognition of extremism within left-leaning ideologies.
Well, we certainly bloody well saw it in the last month, didn't we? Because they got the oppressive narrative a little mucked up, we might say. And the consequences of that are going to unfold pretty brutally over the next few months.
When delving into the Israel-Hamas conflict, Peterson critiques the predominant leftist viewpoint that depicts Palestinians solely as victims. He discerns a peril of oversimplification and attributes it to assidiate Meta-Marxism, a prevailing ideology within academia. Blaming universities for perpetuating this stance, Peterson underscores its role in molding moral perspectives grounded in power dynamics. He points out the left's failure to differentiate between moderate and extremist factions, cautioning against the repercussions of perpetuating an oppressor-oppressed narrative. Peterson advocates for a more astute approach to forestall severe consequences arising from distorted perceptions in intricate conflicts such as that between Israel and Palestine. The inclination of the left towards embracing victimhood as a moral high ground may find its roots in its meta-Marxism, a concept pervasive in academic institutions. This ideology views social dynamics exclusively through power structures, presenting victims as inherently moral. The argument posits that this perspective seeps into educational settings, prompting students to evaluate the world based on moral standards and the oppressor paradigm. Democratic criticism centers on the party's failure to discern between moderates and extremists, particularly in the context of the Israeli-Hamas conflict. These distorted narratives could yield serious consequences, potentially exerting a detrimental impact in the near future.
What do you think?
I promote myself and my videos. Hello, I'm Bong Sim, a Canadian resident of Asian descent. During the day, I work as a professional counselor, and at night, I do Uber food delivery. Instead of speaking in my videos, I prefer to express myself through writing. In today's world, speaking the truth can have serious consequences, both for my professional life and personal well-being. That's why I'm choosing to pen down my thoughts and using a platform to share them on my behalf. Some people find my videos uninteresting, too strict, and they even criticize the appearance of the individuals featured, including their tiredness, Asian, or perceived flaws. I understand these concerns, but I genuinely believe in the purpose behind creating these videos. Unfortunately, recent Canadian legislation has resulted in the censorship of free speech and online content. And although Google hasn't explicitly admitted their involvement, I suspect they play a part in it. Despite my efforts to monetize my content on YouTube, I haven't been able to earn any income from it. I've tried 3 times, and all my attempts were rejected. They turned me down for reasons like lacking creativity, not having a recognizable face, or not having a distinct voice. Nevertheless, I've made several adjustments to my videos, hoping to overcome these challenges. If you share my belief and support what I'm doing, I would genuinely appreciate your backing.